Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's show where we are going to talk about energy. Remember energy? Remember when you had energy? All right, so let's dig in and talk about how do you find ways to increase your energy instead of just trying to carve out more time. So a lot of you have probably tried what I tried for a long time, which is I thought, well, maybe if I get up in the morning and I really center myself for the day, I'll have more energy. And sometimes that really works until you're so dead tired that you oversleep. And then you hit the snooze button over and over again for an hour and a half, right? Some of you may have tried different types of exercise. Like for a long time, I was a runner. I've done yoga, meditation. A lot of those things are incredible for energy. They're incredible for centering yourself. They're wonderful ways to release stress. So as a high performance executive, as someone who has a lot of stress in your life, whether you're, again, a doctor, a nurse, veterinarian, surgeon, attorney, anyone who's in more of these high pressure fields, you know who I'm talking about. So having that stress reduction or something to go to other than a bottle of wine and some cheesecake is probably a pretty good thing. Okay. But you also know that sometimes when you run or sometimes when you're doing yoga, a lot of times you're just forcing yourself to put one foot in front of the other. And it doesn't feel like an energy boost. It feels like an energy drain. It's like, okay, booyah, I got through my workout, but I don't necessarily feel the energy I need to carry me through into my personal life after a really, really long, stressful day in the office. Okay. You've probably tried, I'm trying to think, what else have I done? Like shopping therapy. That's always good. Whether that's late night on the computer or you're just running around out and about somewhere. Eating obviously differently. We always have the best intention. I need to drink more water. I need to mix in more salads and eat fresh veg instead of cheeseburgers. Obviously, like all of these things I'm mentioning are wonderful strategies. Time blocking. Making sure you have me time during the day, thinking time during the day, wonderful strategy. But do you ever notice how a lot of these strategies, they work for a day, they might work for 6 weeks, they might work for a period of time, and then they stop. Ugh. And this is where the rubber really hits the road. And you know that, if you have come on to some of these strategies and whether it's, a mentor or someone shared these things with you, maybe it works great for them. That's awesome. Okay. But then it doesn't work for you. And then you're like, oh, maybe this life, maybe I'm just not cut out for this life. Maybe I just need to go churn butter in the woods and just, pack it in, forget this career. Yeah, I love the impact, but let's face it, girls, frankly, you're just dead tired. Right. And that's what happened to me. I was finally like, all right, I give in. Like I've tried everything. I've changed jobs. I've changed bosses. I've asked to curb my schedule at work. I've tried to travel less. I've tried to travel more for longer periods of time. I've tried exercise. I've tried eating. I've tried getting housekeepers and people to help me, live my life basically. And it got to the point where everyone else was living my life, but me, all I was doing was working. And when that happens to you, you're just headed for burnout or you're already burnout. So if you're listening to this show today and you're just thinking, yeah, that all sounds great, Kate, I'm just done. That's burnout. Because what burnout starts to do is it just starts to curb your enthusiasm and your joy in life for anything that you've loved. And let's face it, you've probably loved your career for a really long time. If you're listening to this show, you are someone who has loved to work, has loved to excel, has really worked hard, throughout your college career, through the early years of your career, and you have amassed what we would call success, right? Your life looks on paper like, oh my gosh, right? Like everyone is so envious. They wish they were you. And the only person who doesn't want to be you is you. I've been there, right? And that's not what success is supposed to feel like. The reason we're working so hard, the reason you took the harder classes in college, the reason you graduated with honors and did all the extra credit to graduate summa or whatever, is so that you could have an edge that allows you to have impact and then eventually freedom, which is what you're looking for. And it does not feel like freedom when all you do is go from your bed in the morning to your bed at night and you don't remember anything in between. And it is not freedom when the people you love are asking for more time with you and you continue to put them and brush them off and put them aside. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel like freedom. It doesn't feel like control. And most of the clients we work with, they're not necessarily looking for more time. They're looking for quality of life. They're looking for control. They love their careers. I love to work. I do. And I'm not going to apologize for that. It's okay to love to work. It's okay to love what you do. And it's not about integrating it into your life and like home life integration. It's about understanding that the way you create energy when you have a very full, robust life with a lot of demands on you is to understand what you need at any moment. We were talking about this today with a group of clients, and they were saying one of the questions that someone brought up was, what do I do if I'm in a juicy project and it's 10 to 12 hours a day, but I am loving it. Like, she's like, I'm so terrified that I'm going to slide into, the abyss of all I ever do is work. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with working 10 to 12 hours a day? If that's something you're enjoying and it's not creating sacrifice in other areas of life, like you're still able to be healthy to the point that you desire healthiness, whether that's triathlons or whether that's just mixing in some veggies. You have to decide, what does health look like for yourself? What is really going to make you feel like, oh, this feels like healthy? Like, I am never going to be a triathlete. It's just not my jam, not my thing. So I'm not going to sit here and beat myself up for not working out like a triathlete. But I do have a certain level of health that I really want from, my blood work, what size jeans I fit in, what my skin health is, what my internal health is, what my mental health is. I know very clearly what I'm looking for in health, and that I'm not willing to compromise. But if I can work 10 to 12 hours a day, 14, 16 hours a day, whatever, and I can uphold what it takes for me to get that level of health that I want and desire, rock on. That's cool, right? There's lots of different strategies out there for health, and it doesn't mean you have to be in the gym for 2.5 hours working out with the trainer in a little navy white uniform, right? Same thing with connection. I am with my family a lot. We spend a lot of time together. We do a lot together. Does that mean I'm with my boys every single day, baking cookies and reading stories? No, of course, my boys are a little bit older now, but they've got their own things that they're doing. I'm doing things, but we're connected, right? I don't feel like I'm putting them off. I feel like I can put my work down, or I can put my magazine down, or I can reroute myself from walking the dog, if that's what I was getting ready to do, to be fully focused on them, if that's what I need. That feels good. That feels like connection, right? Connection is not always having dinner together every night at 6 o'clock. Now, maybe that is for your family, and that's totally cool. Like, that would be your strategy. Mine is, are we emotionally and mentally connected? Do my children know that I prioritize them? Do they know that I'm here for them? And am I interested in their world? Do I go into their rooms and say, hey, what's going on? I'd love to chat. Can I just hang out with you? I create that space. I don't create that space every day, right? And so the answer to having energy when you have a demanding career is just what I'm talking about. It's like imagining you have this giant bowl, and your bowl is life. And you're pouring little things in throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, like a mad scientist. I'm like, oh, I need a little bit more connection over here. I'm kind of missing whatever, spending time with my kids. Let's just say in my point. Yeah, I think Saturday I'm going to do this. Or no, I'm going to go do it right now. Let me go, chat with the boys. It can be the same thing with your partnership. It could be your partner. It could be the same thing with time for yourself. Time for yourself is not always a day spa. Like, I know people who are like, I hate day spas. I don't ever want to go to a day spa. It stresses me out. Don't go to a day spa though. What do you need to have time for yourself? Maybe that's creating space at night before you go to bed. Maybe that's reading a luscious book while you're at a red light, I don't know, waiting on traffic in your commute, or at the doctor's office, waiting to, help a friend or whatever. Maybe it's just having that gorgeous book there that you could grab anytime. Maybe that's listening to your favorite music while you do the dishes at night, putting in the earbuds and just zoning out of all the chatter around your home. Like, those are things you create. And when you get really, really good at this, you're just like this mad science creating this concoction of meeting your needs, and you feel amazing. And that's where you get energy. Where the depletion comes is when you feel like life is being sucked out of you all day long. And as women, we do this, right? Children need us, pets need us, bosses need us, teams need us. colleagues need us, our community needs us, the to-do list needs us. Suck, 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 suck. It's like a million little leeches all over you all day long until finally you're like, ah, and then you explode. And then you become the She-Ra, she-devil of Hell's Planet. And everyone's like, oh my God, get away from me. And then you feel miserable because you feel like I didn't keep it together. I didn't get it done. I didn't prepare accordingly. I didn't communicate well enough. I'm such a rotten human. Here comes the self-critic. Here comes, beating yourself up. And then the cycle starts all over again. That sucks. And that is no way to live, right? And so the way to create energy for yourself is understanding that your biology is demanding you meet your needs all day long. You need some autonomy, you need some health, you need some connection, you need some security. You need these things to be human. And if you're just denying yourself all of those things, waiting until you get to the holidays, waiting until the next presentation is finished, waiting until your team gets up to speed, waiting until the merger and acquisition is all done, you're living in a state of depletion all the time. What do you think your decision-making capability is going to be? Your capacity for decision-making at this level is critical. That is your job, to make sure that you can make decisions as a leader at a highly effective level. I get that you can take a lot on, sister, believe me. And I know you can still make pretty darn good decisions when you're depleted, but think of what you would be doing if you weren't depleted. And you know this, right? How often have you taken a shower or taken a walk or really gotten away for a vacation, and the whole time you talk about work and your partner's like, what is the deal? I thought we were on vacation. And you're like, well, finally, like the creative synopsis is released because you don't have any of your environment around, and you're creating like mad. You're coming up with solutions like mad. You're able to see solutions that you couldn't see because you finally detached from the cray-cray and you're in a space to create. That's what it's like when you keep yourself operating at peak performance. And then, yeah, okay, it's a crazy day. Welcome to being, someone who operates at a senior level. It's a crazy day every day. That's what happens. My day today that I had planned did not happen. I can promise you that. I have done things today that weren't on my list. Things that were a priority on my list were backburnered. Things that were a priority on my list were also delegated. All sorts of things happened in my day that was completely different than the day I planned before this broadcast. That's okay. That's normal when you're operating at this level. So if you're trying to control your energy by controlling all these things and making sure you have this highly scheduled life, you are depleting and sucking the joy and the energy out of your life. That doesn't work. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a workout ritual. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a bedtime ritual with your kids. I'm not saying you shouldn't have dinner plans. Like, yes, put stuff on the schedule. But I'm saying is, if that's what you're using to control your life and be like, okay, life is so fun. Life is so fun. And you're just like, wait, what am I supposed to do now? I'm supposed to go to a party. Okay, this is fun. Like, you're like this robot. Like, I've done that, I'm like, what's next on my schedule? Oh, now it's story time. Okay, let's grab a book. Kiddos, here's story time. Blah, 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 blah. And you're like, it's like, that's not enjoyable. You're just going through the motions of what's supposed to be life instead of flowing through the motions. We want to flow through the motions because the more flow you have, the more freedom you have, the more control you have, the more energy you have. And it's no different than being a high performance athlete, right? If you're a high performance athlete, there are going to be rituals that you have to do to care for yourself and perform at this level. But you also have to know when to break that ritual and say, you know what, today, instead of pushing hard in the gym, I actually need to do yoga. Okay, great. So you do yoga. One missed day at the gym is not going to mess up your performance. And athletes have to know, when is the day I push in the gym? When is the day I back off? I hope you guys can still hear me. I've got some construction going on next to me. That's the type of thing you're doing. Does that make sense? And so it's the same thing in the executive realm or in the realm of being a partner in your company, an attorney. You're like, what do I need to do today to keep myself in peak performance so I can be seeing further than others? I can be making the decisions that need to be made. I can be guiding where I need to guide. I can be keeping myself energized and fulfilled, which means I'm flowing into my home life. I'm flowing into the gym. I'm flowing into family time. I'm flowing into the other responsibilities I have with a high level of energy, because all throughout the day, I've been taking care of myself, whether I needed an extra drink of water, whether I needed to come 5 minutes late to a meeting because I needed to get something else done, whether I needed to say, emails aren't going to get done today. I'm in control of my needs. And when I'm in control of how my needs get met, I got tons of energy all day long. I can work a 14-hour day, bring it, not a problem. And I do. Sometimes I work on Sundays, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I work 14 hours a day for 21 days in a row. Sometimes I don't. It doesn't matter as long as your needs are getting met and you're highly alert to how to do that and you get really good at this. So switch your mind around from thinking about like, I have to find time, I have to find time, I have to find time. I mean, all of us have had time before. And what do you do with it? You lay on the couch and like just stare at Netflix or whatever for 2 hours. And okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Like I like a good Netflix binge. Thank you, Netflix. But there's also times when you're like, wow, that was 2 hours where maybe I could have been, playing Legos with my kids, or I could have been calling a girlfriend on the phone and catching up, but I just didn't have the energy. So again, if laying on the couch and binge watching TV actually helps you feel better, do it all day long, right? But if you afterwards you feel like, oh crumb, there's all these other things I really wanted to do that would have made me feel even better, but I just didn't have the energy. That's because what's happened is you haven't been keeping up with your energy all along for like days or weeks or months or years or whatever. And then it all comes crashing in. And it's like this all or nothing pendulum, right? I'm either all in at work or all over the couch at home. And that's not what we want. We want to be on at work. We want to be peak performers at work. We want to be highly effective at work, not efficient, effective. And when you're highly effective, then what you are is in control. You're influencing how the work gets done. You're influencing your environment. You're leading. You're taking care of yourself. You're taking care and making sure that others are being cared for. It's not just about delegating. It's not just about putting up boundaries. It's not about scheduling more stuff on your calendar. It's what needs to happen. And if what needs to happen today is an 8-hour sprint to get some massive presentation done, awesome, do it. Make sure you're eating, make sure you're drinking water, make sure you get up from your chair every 90 minutes or so to, refresh yourself and go to the bathroom and the things you do. Do an 8-hour sprint. That's fine. Because before that and after that, hopefully, if you're getting your needs met well, you're also really putting in some gorgeous time with people you love, and you're putting in amazing time for your health, and you're putting in energy towards things that give you delight and flow, again, like books or art or whatever it is for you. That's like the dance. Do you see what I'm see what I'm saying? It's like, it's dynamic. It is not a highly rigid, scheduled, this is when things will happen and how they happen. Now, you might start that way a little bit because sometimes just to get it going, you might have to create a habit, right? It's like going on a diet. In the beginning, you just get all the junk food out of the house so you're not tempted. In the beginning, if you're learning to run, maybe you go to sleep at night in your running clothes. So it's one less thing that's a challenge in the morning to get out of bed and run, things like that. But once you start doing this, you have energy, you feel flow, you feel great. You don't have to hit snooze, snooze, snooze a million times. Like I lived on my snooze button for 20 years of my career. I mean, it was like, that was my favorite way to get control. I'll hit snooze. You can't make me get out of bed and go to work. Well, the only person I was really hurting was myself, because what I didn't do was I didn't get up early and hang out with my kids, or I didn't get up early and get a workout in, or I didn't get up early and get time to myself, which as a woman is so rare, right? And that's the only person I was really hurting myself in some ways was me. And then of course I'd be resentful and I'd blow up at everybody later on. And then there we go again, right? There goes the whole cycle. So I want you to really play with this. Like that's what people need to understand. And that's one of the things that, when we teach our clients to be peak performers and we're showing them how to take control over their career, it's not just a bunch of strategies in your career. Like that's great. You got to take control of yourself first. If I can control and hack my biology and psychology, and I have better understanding of what is going to create that feeling of well-being and flow, I'm going to do that all day long, because now I can continue to operate at a very high level in my career. Now I can continue to work all sorts of hours, doesn't matter, but I can also continue to be very attentive and hands-on with my family. And I can also meet my health goals at the same time. Why? Because I understand what's going on in my biology in order to meet my needs at a highly effective level that makes me feel great. And it's one of the first things we do with all our clients. And I love watching them. They'll come in and start working with us, and we'll immediately say, hey, look, before we get into all your career strategies, we're going to work on you and get you humming so you feel amazing. And what's great is they're doing it. Like, they're choosing the strategies. It's not me saying, go do 20 minutes of yoga a day. I don't know if you like yoga or not. If you hate yoga, doing 20 minutes of yoga a day, sister, is not going to help you feel better. I love walking my dog. You may hate dogs. You may hate walking. Fine. For you, it's yoga. For me, it's walking a dog. For her, it's reading, Cosmo magazine. Great. I don't care. But when you start to learn what actually helps you feel amazing and feel energized, and you're pushing away everything that society told you to do. You're pushing away everything your best friends and the girl in the cubicle next to you told you to do. And you're doing what works for you, and you're congruent. Life gets pretty magical. And now you're able to make decisions faster. You're still able to flow into your home life and be really alert and hands-on, right? And you're able to meet all your needs. And you're like, oh my gosh, I feel amazing. That's the secret, ladies, to having a huge career. It's not about time management. It's not about delegating. It's not about having an amazing team. All those things are great. They're wonderful. But you know what? Amazing teams sometimes quit. Your time sometimes isn't your own and gets blown up. Delegation doesn't always work the way we want it to. So if everything is hinging on those strategies, that's too fragile. Like, that is not going to work. My work today, my work next week, that ain't going to work long term. But me shifting me, I got control of me all day long, and I can get myself working in a peak performance state anytime, anywhere. Just bring it. That's the secret to having lifelong energy, lifelong youth, and being able to work any level of career you want without burning out, without feeling depleted, and without having your entire family and friends divorce you. Cool. All right. So I hope this broadcast was really helpful for you. Go get your needs met, ladies. Bring up your energy. And if you are a highly successful woman, if you are in a career that is extraordinarily demanding and you want to protect that career from burnout, and you are tired, dead tired of living your life, putting your career first and your personal life second, and this whole energy drain, I want you to book a call with our team. I want you to chat with us, get one of our coaches on the phone. Let's see what's possible for you. If we can help you, awesome. If we can't, we're going to send you to somebody else. Okay. But no matter what, that call is 45 minutes of gold.